Board of Education. I'd like to welcome everybody that's here in person and also remotely. And I'd like to remind everybody that if you have cell phones, please put them on silence and put them away, please, out of respect for everybody else. We'll start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm here.
Dr. Krause?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Dr. Matches?
Here.
Mr. May?
Here.
Mr. Pack?
Here.
Mrs. Whitney? Here.
I'd like to observe a moment of silent meditation, please. Thank you. We had an executive session meeting from 6:57 to 7:20 for personnel issues. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 17, 2022.
So moved.
Mr. May, second. Mr. Collins, any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Unfinished business. Unfinished business. Additions or motions to the agenda. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Make a
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
Have a second? Ralph? Any discussion on this motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Remarks and visitors. I think we have a student presentation tonight.
Mr. Martin, we have two students with us tonight, Sophia Zahler and Zaisha Skalana.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess that one up. They're both with us tonight because one of our high school goals that was presented with our vision were for our students to have electronic portfolios. So this is the start of that, and they're gonna present their personal portfolios to you guys. So Sophia's gonna go ahead first.
Number 3, right?
So, hello guys, I'm Sophia, I'm a junior. So it was my junior year when I first started working on this portfolio. Better late than never, I'm very appreciative I got a chance to work on it. So as you can see, we have a lovely introduction page with Carmichael's area high school school district, okay? So, on my introduction page, I decided to use a lovely picture of me during homecoming. And on the first page, it just kind of introduces itself, saying the purpose of this e-portfolio is to showcase my skills, experience, and accomplishments. So what I will do with this, using this just kind of like builds up for like college. I use this for college scholarships. It just kind of keeps me in track of like where I want to be. So like I can plan where I want to go to college with this. I can plan what kind of career I want to go to, and just all kinds of things. So on the first page, I decided to list my academics of what I'm doing my junior year. And then at the bottom, I decided to involve some of my athletics I am in, which towards the end, there is a whole page filled with athletics. So there's a couple different bars you can go up here, but I'm going to show you guys a couple. I believe if I go to, where is it? I think it was in career artifacts. No. Actually, I'll just show you my awards and achievements first. Before I can show the other page. So these different pages go through like different categories. So any awards or achievements can be on this. So I decided to start my achievements with all the sports that I have done. And kind of include pictures and articles of my name being in the paper. I kind of went through softball, basketball, volleyball, and then towards the end when I earned a scholarship, I decided to add that there. So any college or job resume can go through that. Take a look at what I accomplished during high school. Do you remember where there's this page that shows other things like what college and report cards also look like, but I cannot find it right now.
can I help? Do you care if I help her?
Yeah,
It,
could you please
it
help me?
changed, once you publish it, it changes a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely changed on
So
me.
go to your
Okay.
junior there, it should be there.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it definitely changed on me. It didn't look like that before. So on this page, it just describes specifically my junior year. I can go all the way back to freshman year and do this. I can go through sophomore, still completing junior, and then I can also go into senior, which I will complete next year. So in this page, I just kind of was talking about like what I wanted to do my senior year. So I listed like AP literature, anatomy, college chemistry, and so on. My secondary plans include like what college I want to go to, what colleges have came to me and said, hey, like I would like you to come here. I've gotten in the mail and email. And I also discussed like what I want to do as a career and post-career, so my second choice. And then there's a present mode, which again I don't see up here, but through here, if you present, and you can go through your first 9-week report card, which, oh, it does pop up, so I can go through every single one of those as I continue, and again, I can go back through my freshman year, sophomore, junior, and I can go through senior year. So it's a really cool thing. I love it. And what's nice about this is like instead of having like paper, when you do it on the internet, it's like all saved in that drive, so it like reduces like losing things, and it's just easier for like other people to kind of pull up. So I'm very appreciative I got to work with this, and I can't like wait to go on to it. So that's just kind of the gist of it. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Thanks, guys. I'm sorry, I lost the one thing for a second.
So this is my portfolio. Sorry. So this is my portfolio. So on this homepage, I don't have a lot linked. I actually transferred here this year from Trinity, so I only have this year done. So I have my 2020-2022 school year, which is here, and this is basically like my bio, like all the schools I've been to, what I'm interested in, why it interests me, and so if I ever want to change it, I can, or ever look back on it. And papers that I did, like projects, so if I ever leave college or preference, I have that. Alright, I'm gonna go where I know works. So this is my work in 2021. When I first moved here, I had the opportunity to renovate my house and stuff like that when I moved here. So it really inspired me to do interior designing because that's what I really want to go for. And so it just keeps it all here so I don't lose it because I'm not gonna probably have these pictures in 2 years. So this is basically all the work I did before and after pictures, and not only that, but a lot of colleges, for interior design, they want you to have a portfolio of your artwork. Yeah, I'm trying to find the art page. I don't know where.
Go to your homepage.
It's on my, oh yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So this is my artwork. I just added this in. It was, I just recently figured out that they want you to have 8 to 12 pieces of artwork in order just to see your creative skills and your color matching for if you're fit for interior design. So I just added this oil pastel drawing. I definitely will have more by the time I graduate, and I'll have this all here. I don't really think I have anything else, just because it's still work in progress. I mean, we just started on this not that long ago, but I love how everything's organized and I can keep it here and I'll have it by when I graduate, and it just keeps everything organized and I don't lose it because I'm not good at that. But yeah, I think it's really good, and it's really good for the kids to have because not a lot of schools offer this, so it's really good that they have that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So is there any questions about?
Very impressive, very good. I like it.
I had one. How do we stack up against
So,
Pretty
One.
good.
it's definitely, I've been asked this so many times, it's definitely a big change. I told everyone I really like the academics here. I think it's overall good. I mean, like I said, definitely a big change going from school, like big school like that, and to here. Like everyone already told me that was gonna be a really big thing. So that was definitely something I noticed. But yeah, the teachers here, I mean, they're really good on you. Like I feel like training was definitely harder. Like it was definitely, they were harder on you, and I didn't really like that. So I love how the teachers here I'm really comfortable with, and like I can talk to them about anything, or if I need help, like they're always there to help me, and they like, finally, I'm not scared to ask questions. I was always that type of person that was really scared to ask questions, so I don't feel like that here. So yeah, I like that here so far. But yeah. So is there any more questions?
That's a good answer. Thank you very much. Yeah, if students want to leave, they can. They can, you don't have to stay for the meeting if you don't want to. If you want to, that's fine. It's up to you. That's why we brought you in early.
Yeah. Yeah, we can say that.
Gonna stick with us? Okay. Administrative report, superintendent report, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any other remarks from visitors at all?
You can
Oh,
do the
okay.
teacher one.
We're gonna try to do this every month, give you a report from the
Okay, well,
teacher.
it's not on the agenda, so, go ahead and say your name, get your dress on for.
Well, no, she's the dressing is part of the teachers.
Okay.
It's not the agenda. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay. I'm Lisa Robinson. I'm here on behalf of our staff, and we just thought it'd be nice to update you guys on some things that we do through the month. This month, Mr. Willis brought in Avion Conservation Center of Appalachia, and they put on a program called 4 Live Birds of Prey to the 6th, 8th in his Cons Bio class. Mrs. Menhart had a donation from Sharon Rodovich and Marlon Bartley in honor of Mrs. Masuga. They put in a little library outside on behind the school. Sorry, I'm flustered. And her book club will take care of the library. The library out there is for people. They put in books. People can come get a free book, put in a free book, and her book club is going to take care of it and maintain it. She also had Chris Palhemus, who is a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy, come and talk to her class about aviation, and he talked about his career in the military and flying. Miss Ritz and I partner with the food pantry, and they give us seeds, and we plant their seeds together, her pre-K class and my child development, and we grow tomatoes for them to hand out at the food pantry. Mr. McCombs had a speaker come in to talk about his career path and how he started out in college and he had a job, and that job, he lost that job, and now he's a barber, and he came in to speak to his class. At the elementary, the student council raised $7,198.89 through Jump Rope for Heart. The elementary center also did their annual Read Across America, and the teachers organized activities for the students. And the academic league grades 5 through 8 toward Sarah's Candy Store and the Frank Sarah's Public Library, and they got to enjoy in some of the food that they had there. And that's it from me. Okay? Fast enough?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yes. How's the little library working? We have one of those down at Wannabe Park where books can be exchanged. Is it working here?
They just had the grand
It's
open.
been open 1 week.
Is it being used so far?
You know what, we'll check it tomorrow. It was last Thursday that it was,
Ours gets used every once in a while down there, so I hope it's being used here.
yeah, I think it's in a good location.
Good idea.
Any other questions? I'm glad to hear that they're going to Jump for Heart, because years and years ago, I was president of the Green County Heart Association, and we did that, so I so glad you did.
I don't think they ever stopped doing it.
No.
They actually
Other
did.
than COVID.
Really? Oh, during COVID they didn't do it, but before then, and they started it back up again.
Anybody else? Now we'll go to administrative reports.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Please don't forgive me next time, because a lot of my report, I was talking about the visitors we had and
Oh, okay.
No, it's perfectly fine. That's so I did want to highlight some of the classroom visitors to show our shared vision and how it is coming to light, with the showcasing our resiliency, our experiences, and our careers. So I'll repeat some of the stuff that she says, because I just think it's great. First, we had the Goody Girls Cake Shop visit to showcase entrepreneurship with Mrs. Menhardt's room. So it was a great experience for them the students to present their food trucks to that Goody Girls Cake Shop. And I hear they make really great stuff too, Cass.
They do.
So Goody Girls was here. Commander Chris and Jamie Pohemus, they spoke about their careers in the U.S. Navy, flying fighter jets. I got to sit into that conversation. It was incredible. And Mr. Franks, thank you for helping set that up as well. They were great to talk, even afterwards, just talking to them about. And it was really cool for them to show their experiences of where they've been throughout the world and the career that the Navy had given them. Pastor Chris Dodson spoke to our Merciful Mites group. Again, Marilyn Bartley, Sharon Rodovich, and Mary Ann Masuga Spanovich came in to dedicate our new little library to former teacher Nancy Masuga. Michael Spillman from Fadeaway's Barbershop came in to talk about barber careers with students. He actually sat on stage and cut Mr. McComb's hair and spoke about everything that he did. He actually didn't start in that career. He started into college with a business degree, and really barbershop and cutting hair was his passion. And he had switched to that and has a really successful shop now. The Avian Conservation Center of Appalachia showed off birds to PA. Jessica Jeffries from the Kalamazoo Nature Preserve in Michigan did a Zoom with Mr. Willis's classes, those environmental classes. So she's actually my cousin. She's the vice president of Kalamazoo Nature Center in Michigan. And she Zoomed with them to be able to talk to them about everything. It was really great. Mr. and Mrs. Krinchek served pancakes and Carmichael's Made maple syrup to our students. I had a chance just today to personally talk to our students in Ms. Shoemaker's math class about the they're doing catapults, so I got to go and speak to them about all the math that's used in ballistic formulas with tanks. So we had that conversation. It was great to sit and talk with them today. Pamela Bravo, she's an epidemiologist from Peru. She Zoomed with Mrs. Jury's classes in the elementary, so it's great that we're reaching out all across the world. Pam Slater came in to read to our kindergarten students on President's Day, and two of our board members for Read Across America, Mr. Martin and Mr. Farrick, read to our students for Read Across America Week. So this is in 1 month. We talk about our vision of giving kids experiences and careers. In 1 month, this is all the things that happened that shows what we're trying to do. In addition, our students and staff gave back to our community. A group of students went to help Clinic and Library set up for their annual fundraiser. The elementary raised $7,168 for Jump Rope for Heart. We held a blood drive. The pre-K, as she spoke, planted veggies for the Cumberland Township Food Pantry. And we're holding an Easter egg hunt here on our campus for the children of our district for Easter. And I just want to say how proud I am of all the work that our staff and students are doing, not only by bringing people in to give our kids experiences, but also for what they're doing for our community of Carmichael as well. So I do think it's impressive. And lastly, we've done this before, but I want to officially, in front of the public on camera, I officially want to thank Officer Craig Miller, Chief Craig Miller, for his response for the unfortunate situation a week ago. You don't have very many people that go running headlong into a dangerous event, and that's the kind of guy that he is. So I really, Craig, I want to thank you for what you did. Not only doing what he was doing, but constantly giving me information so we knew how to safely react with our students that were on campus as well. So, Craig, I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
I'd like to say one thing about that. I called Mr. Moorcraft, said, you know there's a shooting. He says, it's already handled. We're locked down. So, he handled it very well.
If I may add, the night of the shooting, not only the work that the superintendent did, but the building principals were very active. We had student athletes, we had people around the school, we had people in the weight room, and they were very visible. Everything was conducted with the utmost professionalism, and you felt as safe as you could possibly feel at that time. So credit to the administration as well. They did a wonderful job, and he was super. I mean, just their reaction, how quickly the response was something was there. Really well.
I want to talk about three really fantastic experiences that our kids were able to kind of undertake in different grade levels. So I'll start with our littlest, and we'll go with our pre-K. It seems like everything that we talked about prior, they've been really busy. They actually is in a way to kind of really promote creativity, to emphasize the collaboration, and to reinforce the importance of spending time with their families. Our pre-K kids took part in, we call it the leprechaun traps activity. So Ms. Riz did a fantastic job. She sent a letter home to the parents asking them to be very creative, giving them some materials that they would need to create leprechaun traps. And today, I believe in the pre-K, the leprechaun did come. I don't think we got him trapped, but he was all about and out in the elementary school, and the kids had a wonderful time with that. I just really wanted to give you 4 different pictures that kind of really highlight examples, and this is work put together by pre-K and their families. So I just thought that that was a really kind of positive approach that got everybody involved. We're going to jump up to 4th grade, and I was actually lucky enough going through my observations to sit in on Mrs. Measure, who's a phenomenal science teacher. And I got to sit in on this lesson, and it was a really interesting lesson because she actually started, and I said, can I borrow a couple of these materials? And she started with conversations about materials like this. And she said, okay, these are like every household day, toilet paper and paper towel rolls, and what could those be used for that could be creative? So the kids were talking about like, okay, well, you can make it into one of those circular slides that happen at a playground, and all of these different components. So then what she ended up doing is the kids were learning about simple machines. So they made a wonderful interactive presentation, really technology rich. The kids were super engaged about all the different types of simple machines. And then she ended up giving them a challenge. And the challenge that they had to do is they had to think that they were designing our playground of the future. And they had to implement within this playground of the future at least 5 simple machines. And they actually had to make a physical diorama of it. So they did everything from drawing, thinking of materials and all of those different components to giving these finalized products, which you see below. The interesting thing about kind of the challenge to this was that the families had to use recyclable household items. So everything that you see there and all of these wonderful pictures are just things that they found around their house. I just thought it was such a fantastic hands-on, creative approach to teaching this content. And I'm going to tell you, like, I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty interesting. These kids blew this out of the water. It was just so well done. I've actually, if you get a chance back there, that is one of the ones that I decided to bring up. And you can actually see with that, there's actually like working pulling machines on there. And it's just such a fantastic thing. I encourage all of you, if you get an opportunity, to go and take a look at it. And I just think that's something that we absolutely had to highlight. So that was in our 4th grade science class. If we flip on the back, if anybody, we have any chefs here, I got 3 pretty good recipes, and I think this Kurt was on here. There's Kurt, there you go. Kurt's done a fantastic job, and one of the things that he brought back that I think is wonderful is we do a 5th grade future chef activity. We put out a flyer for any kids interested in creating different recipes and meals. And our theme this year was food that comes from movies. So we had a number of 5th graders apply. These are our 3 finalists. On March 30th, if you are interested, we are going to actually do the judging competition of that. So each of these 3 kids are going to make the dish and then help our food staff make the dishes as well. They're going to actually, the meals are going to be showcased in the lunches for that day, so everyone's going to be able to have an opportunity to try them. And then that judging is going to take place, and I think that's going to start 1:45, I believe, is the actual competition to begin. So if you get the opportunity, please, come on over and kind of see this. And just to speak a little bit about the different recipes, so we have a student who's doing Mexican pizza from Coco. We have someone who's doing the Lockwood meatball sliders, and that's from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And then our bottom one is the spaghetti and meatballs from Lady and the Tramp. So I think you have some really kind of cool, creative components. I'm just once again blown away by the skills that some of these kids have with cooking. It's fantastic. And we talk so much about igniting passions and having kids find what they like to do. And I think this is just such a fantastic opportunity to give those kids the ability to make something that's really special to them. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I just want to thank you and your staff. I looked at social media and you recognize the students so much. That's a great job. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you very much.
What temperature do you cook the Lockwood meatball sliders on?
I don't know, that's good, I'm gonna have to ask Kurt that question. Temperature to cook them sliders on.
I have to look at her recipe. They really did, like, these are their true, genuine recipes that they had brought from home. And we're gonna show them how to explode those. What serves 4 is now gonna serve like 400.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, those meatball sliders are good,
350
yeah.
is your answer,
He
though.
wants it.
350.
I like to say that the read across America was very good. I appreciate getting invited. Mrs. Berg did a nice job.
She was wonderful with that.
The 4th and 5th grade kids were very, very hospitable. They were good kids that day, so I appreciate it. And I appreciate the card they sent.
Thank you, well, thank you guys so much for coming in too. I really appreciate that as well. That's a wonderful opportunity for them to see members of the community, so thank you all for participating.
Anybody else? All right, now, middle school principal, Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I'd like to start off with the upcoming events that we have here in the middle school, right there with the top on March 23rd. I'm kind of really excited to see how that's going to go. I've seen some videos of the wax museums that they've done in the past. I'd like to invite all you guys out next Wednesday, the 23rd, from 5 to 6 in the cafeteria. I was with the 6th graders on Wednesday talking about them. It really provides them with an opportunity to speak public in a public setting, which is something they're all kind of worried about. Some of them were in my office today talking about them. Our teachers do a great job with that. The students will pick a historical icon and create a synopsis of them, and then they'll dress up in apparel and go in the cafeteria, and you'll hit their button and they'll read about that person, and then they'll freeze again. So the kids are really excited about it, the teachers are really excited about it, so you can get out to that, and I appreciate that. We also have a field trip the very next day going to the CTC in Williamsburg University. Ms. Barr has done a great job of coordinating that with the CTC. The kids are, it's just another great opportunity to at this age to see what's out there and how to plan their future. April 6th through the 8th, or 8th grade, or April 6th through the 8th, or 8th grade is going to the Carnegie Science Center. So we're excited about that. And then we have Civil War Day and a color run on May 21st. So that's just a couple of things that are coming up in the middle school that we're excited about to give our kids. We have our test dates there with a more in-depth schedule there on page 5. One, we're going to be giving our PSSA test. That's kind of what we've been doing as teams, analyzing data, trying to figure out ways to be as progressive in that as we can and get ready for those. I also highlighted 3 things that I really did catch my eye here in the classroom. The first one being this room that we're in right now, the Media Center. I think Ms. Manhart does a phenomenal job keeping this place up to date. In regards to technology, we talked about the use of stuff. We have a flight simulator here. You have a gaming team. You have different. You have a stock market ticker. This room right here that we're in. I mean, it's kind of the jewel, I think, of this school. It does a great job providing students with different opportunities, a place to kind of come in here and be comfortable with as well. So that's one thing that I really did notice in my time here. Also, we talked about the homework house. I had a choice the night of the day of the shooting. I was actually at the homework house, and the guys there did a tremendous job. We locked it down. They do a great job there. Ms. Barr and the other ladies that are there, we've worked very diligently. There's 2 sheets there. I'm trying to get you guys, I know we talked about some measurable data and important topics of that. That is in itself, that's a great thing. So I just wanted to let you guys see kind of how they're working in that capacity. Attendance has been solid. It's around 90% for the last couple of months. Discipline's been, the reports are in there. Like I said, it's been going, it's been awesome so far.
How do we stack up against your other school?
This place is great. It's not even close.
Good answer. Any questions? Very good. Thank you very much. Senior high principal, Mr. Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I'm going to kind of skip around my report because some of it's redundant, some of what Ms. Robinson and Mr. Moorcraft said. But I'd like to focus on what myself and Mrs. Pellin, our school counselor, did the past couple weeks. We met with every student in grades 8 through 11 to discuss several things. This is the first time in 3 years we've actually been able to schedule with kids without the disruption of COVID. So we're pretty excited about that. We took this opportunity when we met with the kids to talk about our 3 pillars with careers, experience, and resiliency. We also spent time with them talking about the 4 pathways, so the medical, the human resources, business, and STEAM. And then we also talked about the graduation requirements, because our current junior class will be the first ones that have to do the Pennsylvania graduation requirements with the 5 different tracks that they can take. So we put a whole bunch of information, had great discussions with the kids to prepare them to start scheduling. And then today was the first day that we actually started scheduling with some rising seniors. And it was interesting because when we went to schedule with them today, it was so much like a smoother transition because I feel like they had so much information from the classroom presentations that we did that they barely had any questions for us. So we were like, wow, you guys are so quiet. But, you know, obviously we're there, we're gonna keep supporting them. But that was really important for us to get in the classroom with them. If you look at, I gave you guys a packet, and I'm sorry, I know I'm not big on paper, but if you look at the first page with, behind the report, you can see that there are pie charts there. Those pie charts were surveys that the students did whenever we were finished in the classroom. And I just pulled 2 questions. There were more than 2, but you know, we wanted to know how many of them were interested in one of the 4 career pathways. And some of them did say no, and the reason they said no, we had them answer the question like, if you're not, why? A lot of it had to do with stuff that they didn't feel fit into the pathways. And one student responded that they wanted to be a lawyer. Okay, well let's talk about how that can actually fit into the pathway. So these are going to be discussion points that we'll follow up with the kids so that we can say, well yeah, that's great, but how about try this or try that? So it's helping us as we're scheduling with them, and it's also helping Mrs. Pellin as she's career pathing with them. And then the second question that I gave you, a pie chart too, was what career pathways are they interested in? You can kind of see the big breakdown. It's somewhat even, you know, so again, working on that. And the ones that say they're not interested, that would be again, you know, why are you not interested? What can we do? You know, different? Do we need a 5th pathway or more? You know, we're very open-minded when it comes to that. But when we created these pathways, our big thing was we didn't want them to say, okay, you know, if you pick this pathway, you know, you pick STEAM, you're in STEAM, and that's the only thing you're going to be able to do. We wanted them to be broad enough that if they pick STEAM, they're going to get the experience and the learning that they needed to prepare for a career in STEAM, but it wasn't so one-sided that they couldn't say, you know what, maybe STEAM isn't my thing, and I'm going to back out of that and go into something else. So we made sure that kids knew that. We communicated a lot with them. The other piece of my packet that I shared with you guys today, this is a program that my algebra teachers are using, my 9th grade algebra teachers are using, and this probably looks a little strange to you guys because I had to obviously take out names and stuff like that, but the first pages you're looking at are the benchmark testing that we started with. So I gave you 2 benchmark testing. The first one was done right at the beginning of the school year. The second one was done January or March. Well, we had a 2nd in January and we had a 3rd in March. I only gave you the first 2. And the reason I wanted to show you this is I thought it was important for you to look at the instructional grade levels that our students were testing on, especially at the first benchmark. You know, some of those testing are late elementary and early middle school. And then to show you, if you flip back a couple pages, there's, maybe it's a couple of mine. There's some Algebra One Reflection. So what I had my teachers do is I had them compare and look at the actual growth or lack thereof. And obviously these students are listed there as just numbers, but they're linked to names. So when you look at that, this is now what we're using, because we know when this test is coming. This is what we're using to prep the kids for the test in May. So Mr. May, I know you always ask, like, now that COVID isn't here, what are you doing? This is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to, you know, prepare our kids for this test, because these are now even higher stakes, because this is one of the pathways. Pass the test or get, and the second pathway is to get a combined score that's a certain number. So we're definitely paying attention to that. I've talked to you guys before about the IU and Rob Baer coming in and working with our math teachers. This is a piece of it too. So there's just a bit of information. I know I flew through it, and I'll take any questions you guys have. Yes?
Is it possible that maybe the ones on the pathways that don't know what they want, could be lower classmen, like underclassmen? Is that, you taking the whole?
Yeah, I didn't differentiate by grade level, so yes, it is possible that the data that I have does differentiate who they are. So if they're saying no, I'll know their grade level, I'll know who they are. And it's a conversation. And like I said, those pathways aren't so that okay, you don't want to do this. Maybe they're going to CTC, or maybe there's something that we're missing in our pathways that we need something else.
And that was my next question. Do you have anything in the pathway related to industry, like industrial pathway?
We have opportunities. I know Mr. Rostoko is really big right now. He's working with IU3, and he has some online where he's doing some certifications through that. And we also have like CAD and CAM, like those type of things. Yeah. But to say straight industry, no, you know, most of those kids go to the career center and then have the opportunities to work within those shops.
And I think some of the industrial stuff falls into the STEAM
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
That way.
And just one more comment, and so you have to ask any questions. I want to comment and compliment you on that blood drive. I'm a big advocate for it. I think it's really good. Haven't been able to make the last two, but thank you for doing that. It's really
Well,
important.
and that's Mr. Willis and NHS kids. I mean, this time it was broken, and they did a fabulous job.
Yeah, it's really important.
Any questions? Any more questions for Supervisor? Thank you very much. Technology Administrator. Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Coming up with the board packet, there's two things that I'm going to ask everyone to vote on. It's our internet contract, and then also a contract with the IU1 in regards to cleaning up some data in our student information system. I obviously would, thank you for your support in both of those. If you have any questions coming out of the committee meeting, please feel free to interject and ask at any time. My report, I wanted to give a little bit of an update on the technology renovation plan, as I called it. Dr. Krause had asked me to put together a few meetings ago, and I appreciate that. It gave me some focus and some thought on how I want to proceed. Just a couple updates real fast. Originally, I proposed a 5-year plan to replace our aging technology. Had some stuff show up this past Friday. Ordered 20 new PCs for all our administrative and office personnel, and also our nurse. In the past, they seemed to kind of get the hand-me-down machines, and I wanted to kind of put them at the forefront and kind of get them reliable machines so that they can be as efficient in their jobs as possible. Ms. Keener was fortunate enough, she was kind of my guinea pig, and I tested the machine with her office. She raved about it, and if you have any comments, you're more than welcome to make them, but that's the exact same machine we ended up getting for everyone else as well. So it seemed to be,
And it's about 50 times faster than the other one. It's amazing.
it worked out. So that's good news.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at new purchase of Chromebooks, we need about 200 more units to cover some of the ones that have been phased out, and also new students coming in for next year. Not real happy with the current model that we have. We kind of had to order them, last minute and late in the game and COVID and everything. So we didn't really have a choice. I'm not knocking that decision. They're okay machines. They're just not as durable as some of our students need them to be. So I currently have 2 out in middle school, and I gave them to some students in the middle school that are notoriously hard on their equipment. And I did this on purpose because I needed to see some accelerated wear and tear so that I could get them back and I could see. And I emailed the teachers that I gave them to, and they're both middle school students. I let Mr. Poland in on it, and I said, listen, I fully expect these students to break these things. And I need them to so that I can see, okay, what's the difficulty in repairing them, what's the cost in repairing them, and maybe if they don't break them, then maybe we have a winner. I did order a 3rd model, and that showed up today, so I'm going to issue that tomorrow. And by the end of April, next board meeting, I'll have a report for you to say where I'd like to go, and hopefully move on, maybe in transition to that model in the future. So hopefully that goes good. Moving on, Mr. Donald Terry is supposed to visit next Thursday, March 24th. He's going to do the network site survey for me. He's the supervisor of technology services for the IU. He's going to give me a rundown on everything, every switch, every server, everything we have, and kind of guide me in, what are we going to replace? What do we need to replace to upgrade our internet speed moving forward? So there's no pitfalls, there's no surprises, there's no, oh no, I need X amount of dollars that I didn't know I was going to need. I'm now going to have those answers so I can present those answers to you. Teacher PCs, we're having success. We're swapping hard drives and upgrading Windows 11. There's a couple of teachers, elementary, middle school, high school, that I've done this with already, and I've had rave reviews. It seems to be a process that's going to save us a lot of money moving forward. Instead of replacing every single teacher with a new PC, we're able to do that at a much reduced cost. Now, it is going to come at a slight cost to the district, but I have those numbers for you if you'd like to hear them. But they are very, very, minute compared to what it would cost to buy 80 machines versus buying a $50 part that makes that difference. So, and then the last thing I'd like to talk about, originally I had put a new security system into my 5-year plan. I kind of put it on the back burner. We have a security system, we have a camera system in the building. It sort of works. When I mean it sort of works, we have camera footage, we've used camera footage when we need it. Every once in a while, there's glitches and bugs, and the quality of the image sometimes is subpar. It does make Officer Miller, Mrs. Dravecki, Mr. Poland, Mr. Barry have had any personal experience, but sometimes it makes catching a kid or catching a fight a little more difficult. With the events of last Thursday, March the 3rd, happening so close to home, across the street, I thought maybe it is time to maybe move that timeline forward and maybe advance our security system sooner rather than later. So I'd like to, if advisable, present the security system verkada to the board, maybe in a committee meeting, and kind of show you and highlight what this system can do. Myself, I have seen it. Mr. Moorcraft has seen it. Mr. Miller's seen it. It's very impressive. It would take us into the next level of technology and security and safety. And I think, maybe for me at least, it hit home that, stuff like that we see on the news doesn't happen around here. Well, guess what, it did. And now maybe more than ever, we should take advantage and maybe put that at the forefront of my technology plan. So that concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How old is our current system?
So our current software we've been using since 2007. Now we have made upgrades to our actual physical camera units, but it's a pieced-together, piecemeal system where we have mixed-matched parts. We have mixed-matched softwares. We have different hardware, different computers have to use, and it's just one of those systems that it's not very streamlined, it's not very user-friendly, and it gets the job done, but barely. This system I'm advocating, it's streamlined, it's next level. It is.
May I share my experience? Maybe this will kind of enlighten what we're going through. When he sets piecemeal together, I had a teacher report something that was clearly right where camera was. I went to our camera. It literally pixeled the picture in. It turned off, went black. Then all of a sudden, the student's face was floating into it. It was so terrible. I think my theory is, and I've said this to Travis, I've said this to Craig, I've said this to Mr. Moorcraft. My theory is that something is going to happen, and they're not going to be reliable enough for us to know exactly what happened.
If you could, we'll have the building grounds committee meet with you.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. I conclude my report.
Any questions for Mr. Frank? Thank you. Appreciate your thoroughness.
Thank you.
Maintenance supervisor report, Mr. Franks.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have probably one of the simplest jobs in here. We just clean everything, but it's important. And I want to say that we're, after the COVID measures are starting to relax, we're finding that everybody's back in the shift where they belong. We have plenty of manpower. We don't have any uncovered shifts, and things are going fairly smooth. One of our most important jobs is supporting everybody else on all the things that they're doing. So of course we're outside getting all the athletic fields ready. It's, I must say, this has got to be one of the best jobs. There's no one thing you do every day. Every day there's something new, and we get to support all these wonderful programs and all these wonderful efforts everybody does. And I actually thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. I'll keep it real short then. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments, questions, Mr. Frank? I appreciate what you do for this district. Frank. All right, and student representative?
Yeah, we did.
Human resources, any reports, Mrs.?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore. Policy second reading. Motion to approve the second reading of policy item A below as presented. The organization chart.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Motion to approve the substitute list addendum as presented.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Nice. Any discussion on this motion?
Yes, sir. The name we added to that, right? Mr.
Yeah, we did add a name, Douglas Lewis. Douglas Lewis is a bus driver. He has all his paperwork, everything is in
Okay, so
as needed.
that's included in my motion
Yes.
then.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor then say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Motion to approve the 2022-23 school calendar as presented.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. Kraus. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Motion to adopt the IU1 policies and procedures to fulfill the requirements of IDEA Part B.
We have a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kraus. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Motion to approve the PIMS agreement with Intermediate Unit 1 as presented.
We have a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kraus. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Motion to approve the agreement with Breeze Line as presented.
We have a motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion? Mr. Collins. Any discussion on this motion?
Yes, just thank you to Mr. Townsend for getting it all to us in complete order and nice and clear before the meeting.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
That concludes my report, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mrs. Whitaker. There's nothing for budget and finance unless we have a report, committee report. Nothing for activities and athletics, Mr. Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make you said part of a report you can do as well.
Yes.
Okay?
Is your
Got a
committee
couple,
report?
well, I got a thing I'd like to say. I'm not stepping on your toes or anything, but I saw this sign in my daughter's yard, and it said, "Good luck, Levi." So I asked her, I said, what's that on there? And she said, well, we got a student in what grade?
He's in third grade.
In third
Yeah.
grade, 55 pounds. He's a wrestler. And he's qualified for the Keystone State Championship. And I just wanted to bring that up and recognize that.
And can I just piggyback on that too? He's actually, because now they have the PJWC, the Junior Olympics and the Keystones, and he's actually for both of them. So I think he goes Keystones, actually he, today it starts Keystones, and then next week starts the other one. So super proud of that little guy. He's doing a fantastic job. So.
I'm going to wish him the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's be commended. I'll go to the. I'd like to make a motion to request field trips items A through E. A, All County Basketball, Brady's Roadhouse, March the 22nd. B, Countywide Career Fair, Carmichael Spire Hall, April the 8th, 2022. John Knox Riding.
That's
Well,
deleted.
that one's
You weren't
deleted.
here.
Pardon?
That C is deleted.
Oh, that's deleted?
Yeah, you weren't here.
Okay. I'm down to D then, right?
Mhm.
EMT prepare class, Pittsburgh, April 7th, 2022. E Tour Precision Machining Groom, it's in Green County VOTEC, March the 29th. On the motion?
We have a motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Pratt, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the leave of absence request dated February 11th, 2022 of Josh Novotny as assistant football coach for the 22-23 season.
We have a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Matt, any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What exactly does a leave of absence mean? Is he leaving or is he coming back or something?
He plans to come back after. They just had twins, I believe.
I don't know if they're delivered, his wife is expecting.
Okay.
I understand, yeah, but he's planning on coming back during this season?
No, the position would be held in the following year to return to that position. That's how it's been done in the past.
Okay, it's been done that way in the past.
It has been.
I'm good.
I asked the same about whether it's been done in the past and also if there's a shortage of coaches, and there is not. So-
Okay, very good.
So we have a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
That's all. Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Transportation Building and Grounds, Mr. Ferrick's not here, Mr. Pratt.
Facilities, motion to approve the request for facilities items and below presented. A, Center for Performing Arts Musical, Auditorium, April 6th, 7th, 8th, 2022. B, Valley Vipers, 16U Travel Baseball, High School Baseball Field, June 1st to July 10th, 2022.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. Wojtek, any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Franks. The Center for Performing Arts, that's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or something. It's in the evening, I see that.
Yes.
Is there any problem, do they use the classrooms at all? Because I know they used to use them for dressing rooms and so forth. Is that any problem at all in the school?
It doesn't present any big problems. There's always, most of the teachers secure there or know who's there.
Okay.
They've done this in the past and it's been the same thing, accepted.
I'm good with it.
I have a question. The Valley Vipers, is that going to interfere at all with the Crosshair Copperheads doing something?
I don't think so, to be honest. You know, I know Vince very, very well. We've always worked together in the past, according to the field, so I don't anticipate a problem. Thank you for that.
There's a motion, a second on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Business matters, Ms. King.
Motion to approve the bills for payment in the amount of $5,913,081.79 as presented.
Need a motion? Mrs. Wojtek, is there a second to that motion? Mr. Gansey, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion is carried.
Need a motion to approve the Secretary Treasurer of the financial reports as presented.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Mr. May, second on this motion?
Second.
Mr. Crum. Any discussion on the motion?
Well, one thing, just make sure they change the date on there, Mr. Poland, on the middle school activity fund. Your name's not on there. Okay.
He doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion on this motion? If not, all in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Federal program, Mr. Barry.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Just one quick thing to report. Yesterday, we had our teacher-parent workshop, which was held at Lakeside. I believe we had six parents and 2 teachers attend. Very beneficial. We learned about accessing digital mediums to be able to work from, to help their kids out at home. And then we also did a social emotional learning component as well. So that went over very well. And I just wanted to get everybody a heads up on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Legislative report, Mr. Mayor. Public relations, strategic plan representative.
Again, it's a comprehensive plan. and you know, after the presentation that Mr. Wolcraft made last month, I thought it was a really good presentation. And I discussed with him about the possibility about putting it on a district website so that the residents and parents can see what is actually going on in the school district, and he agreed to do
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm working on that.
If you need any help, I can help. I'm
Okay.
pretty good with PowerPoint.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Met, GCC and TC representative.
All right, I didn't bring my notes. I usually bring them with my packet. I didn't bring them tonight, so I'll tell you what I remember. So very quickly, they're still moving ahead on the building and the property, and the lawyers are actually talking now. So again, it gets a little closer every time. Hopefully we can get that. Mr. Krupa has some big ideas. He's really excited about this, and it's a really good opportunity, and hopefully we can use this shortly. We also, we had a meeting with Mrs. Dravecki. I always have a meeting with her usually once a year, and the guidance counselor. And it's always a very good meeting. And one of the things that the guidance counselor, Mrs. Dravecki, expressed to me was that we have a lot of mental health issues and other things that the guidance counselor kind of gets swamped with. And now there's some kind of accounting, there's tracking that she has to.
Graduation requirements?
Yes, so there was a lot of extra work added to her. So anyway, we talked about it, and then the guidance counselor had a meeting with the other guidance counselors in the county and so forth. So they're looking into, sort of like we shared the technology guy with the districts, they're looking into getting another,
Career counselor.
Yeah, career counselor. Yeah, excuse me. And so we are looking into that, and I think that'll be a big help for us and other things. And I gotta say, our meetings are always very productive. Mr. Kruger even mentioned it to me about how nice it was that quite frankly we meet and do that and have the input go over there. So, you know, sometimes you want information going both ways. So, and like I said, I don't have my notes with me, so that's what I remember. And next time I'll have a better report. There's a lot of things going on up there.
Appreciate you doing that for us. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Matt? Does anybody else have anything for the good of the school district before we adjourn? I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Second? Gansky? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.